Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair. Tonight, the future of retail. We take you inside the huge factories in China where Kmart is changing the way we shop. Brady Halls has been there. Brady?
Thanks, Trace. Yes, you don't have to look far in your home to find a product with a label saying, Made in China. Today, our stores are full of Chinese-made goods, but does value for money mean quality? Well, tonight, we answer that question. And be prepared, because there are some big changes coming. Street after street, city after city, hour after hour. China is manufacturing for the world. Forget the Forbidden City. Now, for the first time, cameras are allowed in this Chinese factory, and you'll discover the secret behind those low prices. Tonight, you get access to places never seen before that make nearly everything you wear and use. The accusation against Aussie stores.
They overcharge.
By the retail boss who claims we've been ripped off for years.
Wake up. They marked it up 100% to get the 50% off.
We raise those concerns about cheap foreign goods. So no children?
Absolutely none. Yeah. Absolutely none.
And finally, how some products are going to get even cheaper.
We've got a huge announcement from Thursday and customers are going to love it.
Manufacturing has transformed China, where once this was everywhere. Today, this has replaced it. The world's hunger for goods, dished up by an economy now the second biggest on the planet.
You make a lot more money out of selling millions of things versus selling a few hundred things or a few 100,000 things at a higher price.
My name is Guy.
Guy Russo is the CEO of the best performing variety retailer in our country, Kmart, and only China can deliver his company mantra of lower prices.
The margins are very, very small, and that is our secret. We're happy to make a few cents on every item to be able to attract the consumer on a product that has got great quality and just gobsmacking lowest price.
So we've followed him and his team to their Chinese factories. In China, cities and towns have areas of expertise. Welcome to Bra Town and frilly knickers. Chances are your underwear came from here. Two middle-aged men in a room full of bras may be strange, but Andre Reich, head of Kmart Fashion, knows more about bras than just undoing them.
The $3 bra is no different to when our bras were $9. The quality is the same, the workmanship's the same. The only thing that's changed is the price and the volume.
He's overseeing the production of a bra Kmart is about to flog for just $3. It's all about volume. Where once upon a time Kmart sold 3 million bras a year at roughly $15 each, today they shift 9 million bras for as little as $3 each. And yes, you heard right. Kmart sells 9 million bras a year. That's enough for every woman in Australia.
Brady, our business has changed. We used to sell a lot of items and a little bit of volume in each of those items. We've changed our model completely. So we sell a narrower number of items, but way more volume.
As the former boss of McDonald's, Russo used to flog cheap takeaway. These last few years, he's been using that cheap as chips philosophy at Kmart, and again, without the nasty. Guy, how do you know that the products you're selling cheap are safe?
Everything we sell at Kmart must meet Australian standards. Even our iron that we sell for $12, it must meet Australian standards. On top of that, we offer warranties with all of our electrical products. Actually, nearly everything we sell at Kmart's got a warranty on it.
None of these prices would be possible, of course, if products were made in Australia, where wages are roughly 10 times those here. And that's the same the world over. The headset factory is not only making for Kmart, but stores in Europe and North America. Here there is one person whose sole job is to wipe off the finger marks on the box. Such is Chinese manufacturing when you have a population approaching 1.5 billion people. Enough workers for every one of those millions of finished items to be individually checked. But then, checking is not only done in China. Back in Australia, and while the product label may say made in China, Kmart says a good part of it is still Aussie. So now, for the first time, television cameras are being allowed inside Kmart headquarters to see just how much is dinky dye. While it may be manufactured overseas, hundreds of Australian scientists, engineers and designers work on creating and testing every product line. There's the rubbing test, where garments are tested for wear.
We put them into the light box here.
The fading test for colours.
Just removing the samples.
The washing test. The pilling test.
We're validating and verifying the weight of the jeans, so as we've agreed with our supplier.
Even the thread counts are double checked to ensure the Chinese fabric is as good as we're being told.
348.6 grams per square metre.
Then there are dozens of designers, like Rick, who was a tattoo artist and now uses his talents on fabric. Likewise Shane, who used to spray graffiti and now comes up with designs for T-shirts and not walls.
The straps actually probably need another 3 centimetres.
Then teams like Jennifer and Kate transform the concept into usable clothes.
Dana, do you want to put on the bra?
The digital era means decisions made in Australia are relayed in minutes to the factory floor to be made in China.
In the past, to do the job that we do today, you would have buyers travelling overseas, you'd have factories coming to Australia, and all of that added cost to the goods. So with the digital age and video conferencing, most of our negotiations, most of our discussions are done online. So that saves costs, and we can pass that on to our customers.
A devastating building collapse in Bangladesh, which has so far claimed 250 lives.
But history has tragically shown us that lower prices can sometimes have devastating consequences. How can your customers, my viewers, how can they know that that factory is safe? Is there any way they can check? Is there any way that they can feel comfortable buying a cheap set of headsets and knowing that no one has suffered in the making of that?
No retailer in Australia ever listed their factory addresses on any website or any public document. Our response was we must let everyone know where our factories are, where the addresses are. Our addresses now are public. They're transparent to the world. First retailer in Australia to do it, and I encourage every retailer to do that.
The world at large wants ethically produced goods at a good price.
Retail expert Dr. Colin McLeod from the University of Melbourne believes while we want the lowest possible price, more of us are wanting to feel good about getting it.
I think Kmart have gone out of their way to try and present themselves as an organisation that treats all people well. So I think they've tried to be much more transparent with everyone they deal with, customers, suppliers and workers.
Guy, how do you know everyone on this factory floor is above age?
Our team got 300 staff that work here, and we come in and check all the records, each and every one of them. I mean, one of the nice things, unfortunate things about the Chinese, they look half their age, most of them. I wish we could look like them, but we check their records. Not only our own team does that, but we have internal and external auditors.
Tell me about the wages. You can make products that are so cheap. Do they get a fair price for their work?
Yeah, for the city they live in, yes. But what's interesting about this particular factory we're in, the minimum wage sits at about 200 Aussie dollars per month.
Yep.
The owner here is about 2.5 times that, so he's paying about $480 a month. So whilst the government sets a minimum wage, nearly every factory owner I know pays way above it because of the strong demand there is for labour in China.
And what about hours? Do they work 6 days a week?
They actually work less hours than both of us. It's a 40-hour week and 1.5 hours for lunch and 5-day week.
What's more, at the factories we visited, all meals and accommodation for the hundreds of workers were free.
We take out the middleman, we deal directly with the factory, we have our staff in this factory working with production packaging, making sure that we can fit as much product per box as possible.
They even fly senior executives economy overseas. And Kmart says nearly all other retailers could be as competitive as them, but retail greed is ripping us all off.
They overcharge. And you can tell by the fact that when they decide to do the percentage off game, and I call it a game because it's a mark-up to mark-down, and it's a myth. You know, and you always hear that famous, saying when your partner comes home or you come home to your partner and say, I got 50% off. I mean, wake up. They marked it up 100% to get the 50% off.
Take a look overseas. Why is it that Americans or Europeans are getting the same product as us, but at a fraction of the cost?
And I thought, let's go for a $10 jeans. They were that type of pricing in Europe and America. So I thought, gee, if they can sell them at that price, why aren't the Aussies being given that same amazing value?
That humble jean started it all off. Since then, the entire range has been reduced, and it's not over.
Kmart's going to drop prices again.
We found a way to reduce permanently the price of over 200 products.
200 items this Thursday will be dropped permanently. I don't know where this is going to stop, but what I do know is it's not going to go up, they're just going to continue to drop.
The jean prices have come down twice $10 days. Now at $7, they expect to sell millions more. Likewise, men's jeans. Those headphones have come down 20% to $8. So too their iron, selling for what they once fetched in the 1970s, $12. Fry pans reduced permanently from $25 to $19. Bath towels nearly half price for good. And that $4 bra now $3, and that's just a few of them.
I think people want acceptable quality. I mean, there's sort of cheap and nasty, and there's cheap and good value. So getting that balance right between price but still offering appropriate quality for people is something I think Kmart are pursuing pretty hard.
From the design, prototype, testing, manufacturing, packaging, shipping, distributing, unpacking, and finally the sale to you. A lot goes in to that bra for $3 lousy. Yet Kmart and the Chinese can still make a buck. A few years back, Kmart was going broke. But now, post-GFC, when most retailers are struggling and online shopping is eating into profits,
we've got an extra 3 to 4 million people visiting Kmart every year.
The jobs of 31,000 Australian Kmart employees are now safe, and Aussie shoppers have never had it so good. No wonder the CEO is dancing. By the way, they're the $8 headsets.
Well, what do you think? Do you think the savings justify moving the manufacturing offshore? Have your say on our Facebook page or on Twitter.